Hey folks, today I'm just going to do a little video about my truck. Now I have a 2019 F150 diesel. It is not a Raptor, it is just a diesel F150, and today I'm going to be installing the King shocks and the billet upper control arms onto this truck. But the reason I'm doing the video is because there is a guy online who he thinks he knows all sorts of stuff about Raptors and about Raptor suspension, and he sort of said that something can't be done that can be done, and it works really, really well. As I said, this is a diesel F150. It is not a Raptor. I have not modified the upper coilover towers. You can see here they're not modified in any way whatsoever. It's a Gen 2 shock in there, Gen 2 upper control arms, Gen 2 everything, Gen 2 lower control arms, all just bolted on. It's nothing special about it at all. And as you can see, the lower control arms are not on any sort of stupid angle, pretty much stock Raptor geometry. The upper control arm, once again, is not on any stupid angles. I'm running 39-inch tires, and I have done for about 100,000 kilometers. And the whole truck is done about nearly 100,000 miles on this Raptor suspension. And it works perfectly, and it's stock. So when the tosser that said you can't do this was crapping on about it, you can do it. Now the only thing I had to do, I had to put a shorter spring or shorten the spring, because the spring's a little bit long. You want to basically drop the truck down about the width of a coil, or else in this case the truck would have been too high, because this tower is a little bit lower on a stock truck than it is on a Raptor. So it's correct when people say that. However, it will work with all the stock stuff. And also, to line up the strut on the top, all I did was put washers on these bolts. Now, big washers, you know, so they've got a good surface area. But once again, the tosser said you can't do that. Well, I live in Baja. I drive in Baja on dirt roads every single day in this truck. If you want proof, I'll walk out here, and there's the cactus in my driveway. There's the ocean. I live in Baja. It's dirt roads everywhere. There's the dust from a car going up the road there now. So this works, and it works great. I've got 39-inch tires. I have a good amount of wheel travel up here. Of course, I don't want to go up too much, and that's why the longer strut's probably a good thing in there, is it stops the tire rubbing up in here. When it's fully bottomed out, it is right up in here. But it's got good wheel travel, works great off-road. It's got massive droop travel, which is more of a benefit off-road as well. But as you can see, it works fine. It works great. I have done a lot of mileage on it. I did take the sway bar off because the stock F150 sway bar is really stiff and the Raptor one is very light. In fact, the stock Raptor one's there really just for show. I took it off and put limiting straps on, because the strut is a little bit longer than what someone would usually have in there, so the limiting strap just prevents it from being overextended. And other than that, it's worked great. The only thing is that the stock Fox shocks are a little soft, and they don't just work quite as well. And then the upper control arms, they've got a tendency to sort of wreck the ball joints pretty commonly. I've replaced one arm on one side just through general maintenance and wear and tear. But other than that, people, don't think that you need to go crazy, especially if you're running much bigger wheels and you're putting the fiberglass, the 2" by 2" fiberglass on as well, and running 39" tires. And the geometry is great. It works absolutely fantastic. The only reason I'm replacing the upper control arms in particular is that these bushes, especially with 39s, have a lot of flex, and these ball joints, there's a lot of load on this ball joint here. So replacing with an adjustable upper control arm, what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld on the lower control arms, because the lower control arms tend to slide in on the out on the slots when you hit big bumps. Is we're going to get these big steel washers here, and we're going to weld them. We're going to weld them at the end here. So I've got a piece of steel that was sived perfectly to jam in there, so it's jammed against this lip, so the lower control arm can't slide out. But the washers are going to be a permanent fix, so that the alignment can't get out when this thing does some big jumps and stuff. So today, all this stuff's coming out, and we're keeping the lower control arms and the spindle and the CVs, but the rest is being replaced as a nice little gift to my truck, like a 5-year anniversary for it. Any questions, just let me know. But when someone tells you it can't be done, especially a guy going online and professing to be a suspension expert says it can't be done, well, it can be done. And you can also use the Fox shocks as well. I'm using them, the Kings, sorry, these are Kings. All I did is put my coil spring compressors on. I marked, you can see a mark here, which was halfway in between the thread that was on here. So we're moving it up to actually drop the front down, because of course my strut towers are a little bit lower. And yeah, I put my coil spring compressors on, loosen this off, and these are really neat. It's got these holes in here to be able to crank it around and take the preload off the spring. So that's going to fix that as well. And then I also have the steering kit, which I'm looking forward to putting in, because the 39" tires are pretty hard on the inner joints on your front steering. So we'll get that all figured out here too.